Speaker Paul Ryan and House GOP leaders are facing their worst nightmare: a Freedom Caucus-run House committee. But Trey Gowdy might bail them out. House Oversight Chairman Jason Chaffetz's announcement last week he might resign from Congress soon has triggered a behind-the-scenes battle, one of the most high-profile chairmanships on Capitol Hill. And the power vacuum has the potential to cause GOP leaders serious heartburn. That's because the committee, which is charged with investigating the executive branch, is stacked with prominent Freedom Caucus members whom leadership doesn't trust. Chief among them is Rep. Jim Jordan, R. Ohio, a ringleader of the group of far-right agitators. Jordan has made a name for himself as one of the most aggressive oversight interrogators. But he's also been a huge problem for leadership over the years. The Ohio Republican is next in line if the most senior member, Tennessee Republican Jimmy Duncan, decides not to run. Former Oversight Chairman Darrell Issa is third in seniority, but he's chaired the panel before. And insiders don't believe he'd try for it again. So GOP leaders could face a quandary whether to reward someone whose past behavior has tripped up their agenda and infuriated most of the GOP conference. Jordan wouldn't say if he would run, though people close to him believe he will. "We'll see," was all Jordan would say when asked Wednesday whether he wanted the gavel. "Right now Chaffetz is the chairman, and I want to continue to support the chairman." But sources told Politico that they're not sure Jordan can win the post. And not just because of his rocky relationship with GOP leaders. Many members of the House Steering Committee that chooses chairman, and is comprised entirely of leadership loyalists, don't like him either. GOP leaders and their allies are so worried about a Jordan candidacy that they've begun buttonholing Rep. Trey Gowdy, RSC, the former chairman of the House Benghazi Committee, and a dark horse candidate for the oversight post, to run, according to multiple House sources. While Gowdy often jokes that he hates the high-profile nature of his job, and would rather be home watching Hallmark movies with his wife, insiders say he is now considering a bid. Gowdy's office declined to comment. In the meantime, several other oversight committee members are quietly jockeying for potential bids as well. Rep. Dennis Ross, a deputy whip and longtime leadership loyalist, told Speaker Paul Ryan on Wednesday that he plans to run, as long as Gowdy doesn't. "I think Trey Gowdy would be exceptional for that, but if he chooses not to do that, I would definitely choose to be in the running for position," Ross, RFLA, said in an interview. "I think I've got as good a shot as anybody if Trey decides not to do it, so I'm going to make a push for it." Ross, a lawyer who also sits on the House Financial Services Committee, chaired the Oversight Subcommittee on the Federal Workforce and the U.S. Postal Service several years ago. He has a good relationship with Oversight panel Republicans as well as Democrats. But he's 14th in line in seniority. Rep. Mark Sanford, RSC, another Freedom Caucus member who is 4th in line in seniority on Oversight after Jordan, is interested in the gavel as well. He told Politico that he's making preliminary queries into how realistic or unrealistic a run would be. Sanford acknowledged that it would be difficult, if not impossible, for any Freedom Caucus member to win a race, a full committee chairmanship after antagonizing party leaders and their own colleagues for years. In his case, Sanford said he's taken some unpopular stances that may further hurt his cause, such as calling on President Donald Trump to release his tax returns. Sanford could try to argue that would make him a strong check on the president, but it's unclear how far that might get him. I think as a generality, it could be tough for a Freedom Caucus member to end up with a chairmanship, Sanford said, and then add a layer to the cake of I've been fairly robust in calling the president to release his tax returns. I think historically in that augur role, Thief generally wanted someone quiet or compliant. You pick the word, as it relates to the administration in power being from the same party. Jordan is one of the most influential members of the House, though not always in a constructive way for leadership. He was even floated as a potential long-shot challenger to Ryan for Speaker last fall. In an interview with Politico last fall, Jordan said his favorite part of the job was being on the oversight days and grilling people he believes are hiding information from him. Indeed, the hard-nosed former wrestling champion is best known for his interrogation of the ERS commissioner and former staffers in the middle of the Tea Party targeting scandal in 2013. Jordan also served on Gowdy's Benghazi committee, receiving praise from right-leaning commentators, challenging the Obama's White House's talking points about the terrorist attack. Gowdy's reputation as an unforgiving questioner, however, is just as strong as Jordan's, and the former federal prosecutor is better liked within the House GOP conference. I think Jordan is obviously a top choice. Gowdy's great, too. So fortunately we have a lot of good candidates, said Oversight member Scott Descharlet, R10, also a member of the Freedom Caucus.